Hey friends, welcome back to this series of 20 days of Kronos configuration. I hope you all are doing well and safe. And today is going to be a very important day. Yes, the reason is we are not just going to create one building block, not two building blocks, but we are going to cover three important building blocks in this video tutorial. So by now we've already covered, out of the 20 days we've covered 11 days, and I'm hoping and expecting that by now you are familiar with the majority of the work rule building blocks. And today we are going to actually create the work rule as such. So if you haven't had a chance to go through the first 11 days of the video for the Kronos configuration, I'm going to put the playlist link in the description. So make sure that you go through them as well so that you are familiar with what we've covered so far. And the last topic that we've seen was about on day 11 was about zones. So ideally, as we were doing, each day we were covering one topic. So by that virtue, we were supposed to cover the combination rule today. However, as I said, we are not just going to cover the combination rule, we are also going to cover the other two building blocks, which is pay code distribution and work rules as well. So today it's going to be 3 days of our video clubbed in one. So I would recommend you that you watch this video till the end, because any miss in any of the steps and you will miss out on the entire connection between these three, because these three are going to go anyways together. And I'm sorry that I couldn't publish the videos in the last few days because of some other work that I was caught up with, some other project work again related to Kronos. But I would, going forward, definitely release the videos in multiple sessions throughout the week. So I appreciate your feedback. So please share your feedbacks, your comments in the comment section, so that whatever you are expecting to see in these videos, I will be able to deliver those as well. So today, as I said, we're going to cover day number 12. We're going to cover combination rules, PCD, that is pay code distribution, and work rules. So let's first understand what these combination rule, PCD, and work rules actually do in the Kronos application. Now, combination rule, which is right here, it establishes a precedence when more than one type of pay is applicable to an employee work situation. We are going to cover each of these building blocks in detail in this video itself, in separate sessions, or rather separate segments. And I'm going to cover more details about each of these building block. However, in order for us to set up our mind as to what these are, you can consider a bit of definition for these three: combination rule, PCD, and work rule. So combination rule determines which rule takes precedence over the others in a simpler way. And then once the combination rule is defined, it kind of sets up the tone for the next building block, which is PCD, or pay code distribution, right here. And the PCD establishes how employees are paid for the time they work based on the combination rule. So that is why I said the combination rule is a key here, because that is the one that will set up the PCD, how and you're going to work on the PCD. So combination rule will play an important role by the time we reach the pay code distribution. And then we have the work rules, which are the combination of work rule building blocks, and they apply specific pay rules to shifts. Work rule determine how employee hours accrue. Now these are the three things that we are going to cover, and let me also join the other building blocks that we've covered previously and show you in something like this. So earlier we've seen that in the last few days we've covered schedule deviation, zones, rest between shift rules, and overtime rules. And as you can see, all of these four are actually going in the combination rule. These are all the premium pay situations. As you can see, these are premium pay situations. Employee can get more than what he gets on a regular basis for working on this. And the reason that we put this in the combination rule is because the employee can actually be in the same situation. Like the employee can be in a zone, at the same time he can also be in the overtime situation. He can be in the rest between shift situation. He can also be in schedule deviation. So in maybe in one day, he can actually meet all these four conditions. So if that happens, how are you going to manage that combination of zone, overtime, schedule deviation? So that is why the combination rule is important for us to understand how it works. So we put all of these premium pay situation in the combination rule, and then the combination rule is assigned to the pay code distribution. So by the time you reach here, you will know what you would be able to expect in the pay code distribution. And then this pay code distribution is assigned to the work rule, which combines everything, the first 12 days of hard work that we put in climbing up the ladder. We're going to put all of that in the work rule. And finally, the work rule will be assigned in the pay rules. And that's how the employees get paid when they work, if they are using the time and attendance or Kronos application. Now, let's start with that overview. I hope you got an understanding of how these three building blocks are connected to each other. And with that note, let's go and dig deep in each of these building blocks, starting first with the combination rules. Now, to start off with the combination rule, I'm going to give you an example here. So what is a combination rule? So we've seen the definition of combination rule, so to speak. So combination rule establishes which rule takes precedence so the employee gets paid correctly when more than one pay situation applies at the same time. And here is an example of the same. Let's assume you have an employee, and let's give the employee a name. Let's say John. John is working in your organization and he is a full-time employee. And being a full-time employee, John gets, if he works more than 8 hours a day, he gets a daily overtime. If John works more than 40 hours in a week, then he gets weekly overtime. And full-time employees are also entitled for the shift differentials. So if a full-time employee is working between 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., they also get the evening shift allowance or the evening zone allowance, right? So John happens to be a full-time employee who has all of these rules set up for him, and his working hours are from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. Okay, so John works from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. So remember this. Now here is a small example of John's time card. So John has worked from Monday to Thursday, 8 hours each day, as you can see. Now on Friday, he has worked a bit extra. He has worked 1 more hour beyond his actual scheduled hours. So he works typically 7 to 3, but on Friday he has worked from 7 till 4. So because he has worked beyond his 8 hours schedule, he got that one. So his total working hours is 9 on Friday, and anything that is over and above 8 hours will give him the overtime, daily overtime, as you can see. But look what happened. Because he has worked extra on Friday, his weekly total is 41 hours. That means he has now qualified to get the weekly overtime as well, because his daily weekly total is 41 hours, and anything greater than 40 is actually weekly overtime. So he now has 1 hour of weekly overtime, because 41 hours, that is over 41 hour. And because he has worked from 7 till 4, he is also qualifying to get 1 hour of evening zone, because evening zone starts from 3 p.m. and he has worked till 4 p.m. So the hour was overlapping, and because of that he now has a situation which gives him 1 hour of daily overtime, and he has 1 hour, or we can say 1 hour over 8 hours in a day, which is daily overtime, and then 1 hour over 40 hours in a week, which is the weekly overtime, and then finally 1 hour in the shift differential, or in the evening zone. Now, how do you think the system will react if this kind of situation comes or is thrown to the system? What do you think will happen? What do you think should happen? Should he get all daily overtime, weekly overtime, evening zone? How do you think the Kronos application will pay John in this situation? And if you realize he has just worked 1 hour extra on Friday, and just 1 hour extra is actually allowing him to get daily overtime, weekly overtime, and evening shift allowance as well. So in other words, should the extra hour that John worked on Friday be paid as daily overtime, weekly overtime, or should it be paid as the evening zone? Now, to make this determination, you will need the combination rule. And in that combination rule, you can define the precedence. Does that make sense, friends? Are you able to understand with this example why we need combination rule? Why are we using combination rule? Because this 1 hour has resulted in 3 different situations, friends. This 1 hour has resulted in 3 different situations, and you have to tell the system how the system should treat this 1 hour. Should it pay over 8, over 40, or evening zone? Just because employee has worked 1 hour extra, he's going to get a good amount of money, because though he has just 1 hour extra. So that precedence has to be established somewhere, and that is the combination rule. That is where you establish the precedence as to which situation takes precedence over the other, or which situation wins over the other. Okay, that is what we are going to see. Keeping this in our mind, we will now go to the application and see how we can set up the combination rule. And I'll quickly take a screenshot of this time card, so that later we can use the same while going through the application as well, so that you will be able to connect and recollect what we have gone through. So let's go right into the application and see how we can configure the combination rule. So here we are in the setup. Expand the pay policies, go to the work rule building blocks. And also one more thing, just for the better display quality, I would recommend and encourage you watch this video over a tab or a computer or laptop than a cell phone, just for a better display quality. So here we are in the work rule building blocks, and today we are going to actually cover and complete all of these things. So let's go right into the combination rule. And if you remember, in the previous session we actually created the combination rule, but we didn't dig deep into it. But this is the time where we are actually going to analyze each of the sections of the combination rule. And while I do that, I also would like to highlight and inform you that from now on onwards, it's important and very important to remember one thing, which is the name. Okay, so when you climb up the ladder from here onwards, combination rule, pay code distribution, and work rule. Remember the naming convention. Please make a note of this, friends. The naming convention is very important, because you may be working for a project where the client has, like, say, let's say 10,000 employees or 5,000 employees. So there may be different group of employees that you may have to create their payrolls for, maybe full-time employees, part-time employees, or maybe employees who are salaried, hourly. So the naming convention that you would give will help you to determine, when you go up the ladder, when you go to payrolls, the same naming convention should be used for the combination rule, pay code distribution, and the work rule. Okay, so previously I was using demo because we weren't actually here, but from now on I'm going to change this name to full-time employees. Here we go. So full-time employees. So John happens to be a full-time employee, so I'm going to give. So make sure that when you give the name, the same full-time employee's name should be given in the pay code distribution as well as in the work rule and the pay rules as well. And then if you're creating another rule for another set of employee group, like part-time employees, then the combination rule name should be part-time employees. Pay code distribution name as well, work rule name should also be part-time employees, and pay rule name should also be part-time employees. So later, if you want to check something related to one set of group, one employee group, then you can quickly will be able to see all the connected building blocks, and that will help you for troubleshooting as well. All right, friends, so here we go. This is the combination rule, and there are 3 tabs, as you can see. The first one is select items. So a while ago I showed you there are 4 premium pay situations, which you will see here in the selected items. So you have zone, you have overtime, you have schedule deviation, and you have rest between the shift as well. So I have separately created videos for each of this. Like the last one, day 11, was zone, then overtime we covered in day 10, and rest between shift we created a video on that on day number 9. So you can follow all that if you haven't had a chance to go through it. But here in the selected items, you need to assign what you are going to enter for, or what are the premium pay situations applicable for full-time employees. Okay, so all of these are applicable, so I'm going to select all. But just to make it a little simple at the beginning, I'm going to take off rest between shift, but we are going to check this and add this later. So but for now, to make it little simple, because this may be first time for few of you, so I'm going to just cover with few options, and then later we can add the RBS as well, rest between shifts. So that's the select item, and whatever you select here under the configure combinations, here as well you will see 3 columns, and the first column will be the combination item. This is the one that we selected in the select items, your zone, your overtimes, and your schedule deviation. The other 2 columns that you see here is the combination and the get paid as. So let's spend some time on the combination first. So this combination column that you see here, this contains the items which represents the rules that are simultaneously occurring or overlapping. Just spend few seconds and you will understand there's these items that you see here, the zone, overtime, over 40. These are the items in the combination column which are actually overlapping, or they are occurring simultaneously. So that means the employee is working in the evening shift, as well as he has exceeded the threshold to get overtime. So this is the screenshot, if you remember, friends, right? So this is the exact situation. So employee has worked for 1 hour extra. Now he is in the situation where he is getting overtime, daily overtime, and he is also getting the evening zone. So he is getting the daily overtime simultaneously. You can see this evening shift and plus overtime over rate. Okay, so this is the situation which is happening simultaneously. So in this combination section, you will see the items which represents different rules like zones and overtime, or overtime and overtime, or overtime or unscheduled deviation, which are overlapping. So the employee is in the same situation. So that is what you see here. That is the combination of the rules which are overlapping. And on the other side, which is get paid as, the get paid as column provides option to establish rule precedence. Who wins over the other? Which rule will take precedence over the other? So here in the get paid as, if you click on the drop down, you have two situations, or rather two rules. One is the evening shift and overtime greater than 40. Here you have the evening shift and greater than 8 hours. So evening shift and overtime are two different rules. So which rule will take precedence over the other? Or who wins? Whether evening shift wins or overtime greater than 8 wins. If you are not able to determine who wins or which one should get precedence over the others, and if there is a tiebreaker, then keep it as unique. Okay, and now you may wonder, why should we actually determine which one gets precedence or gets paid as, or which one takes precedence over the other? The reason is because just for working more than 1 hour, the employee is getting in 3 different situations. So did he work for 3 hours? No, he just worked for 1 hour, but he is also getting in a situation where he's going to get overtime, daily, weekly, and evening zone. So you might want to decide which situation takes precedence over the other. In case if you are not able to decide that, then remember the thumb rule: whichever rule gives the employee more pay, whichever pays more, that wins. However, more often than not, you will see the option selected here will be unique. Why? Because two reasons. One, it kind of helps you to give the pay code. If it is specifically for a particular situation, you can define the pay code for both the situations. And two, and importantly, it helps in troubleshooting later. So when you troubleshoot, if you assign one over the other, and the other one will not be there in the scene at all. So if that situation comes and you don't have a pay code for that, and you will end up spending so much time understanding why that employee is not getting pay for that particular situation, because here in the combination rule you said that evening shift takes over the overtime. So more often than not, unless there is a real situation or real scenario where it actually has to be taken precedence, one situation should take precedence over the other, you will keep it as unique. But I will show you example for both, one which takes precedence over the other and unique as well. Alright, so that is what you see in the configure combination. And then you also have another tab here which says counts toward overtime. This is the word overtime which you should remember, counts toward overtime. Now this tab specifically allows you to allow the hours to meet the overtime threshold. Okay, so this tab, it's taking a while. Here we go. All right, so here you have the different situations again, that are regular hours, shift hours, overtime hours, scheduled deviation hours. And if you see, it says should this worked time, the hours that the employee is working in this, should these hours count towards overtime against over 40 hours in a week. So it's like a faucet. If you turn it on, the water will flow. If you turn it off, it will stop. Okay, so that means the regular hours will not count towards the overtime greater than 40 hours, which will not happen, right? But if you do not want the overtime which the employee is getting because he is actually working over 8, that overtime hour should not count towards the over 40. So that 1 hour should not lead to 40 hours. For example, employee has 39 hours and he has worked for overtime for 1 hour. So that 1 hour should not contribute the or help the employee to get over 40 as well. If that happens, then this situation will come up again. So this count towards overtime, here you can switch off or switch on which work time should contribute towards the overtime situation. Like evening shift, if the employee is working in the evening shift, right here, should this 1 hour help the employee to get daily overtime? If yes, then you'll say yes. If no, then it will be a no. So if the employee is working from 7 to 4, that 1 hour extra will not help the employee to get the daily overtime of 1 hour. Now we are going to spend more time in the configure combination because this is where you actually will be spending more time. So let's take few examples and then we will go to the pay code distribution and then we'll see how things look when we start configuring this. So in the configure combination rule, I'm going to change few of the options in the get paid as. Let's say the evening shift that employee is working, that should not allow the employee to get over 8. So that means which one is taking precedence over the other? Yes, if you said evening shift, that is correct. So evening shift takes precedence over the over 8. For now, I'm just going to keep this as one example so that you can see the difference. And I'm going to click on save and return. So what's the next thing that we do? We assign this full-time employees combination rule in the pay code distribution. So let's go in the pay code distribution right here. Let's click on the one that we earlier used in our previous sessions. And again, remember to change the name. If you remember, for the combination rule, we gave the name as full-time employees. So make sure you change the name here as well to full-time employees right here as well. So let's change to full-time employees. So as I said, the name should be the same. Okay, so let me explain you about how the pay code distribution editor or how pay code distribution works, or what are the things that you will need to remember about this. Again, the combination rule that we created, first thing is that you need to select that so that whatever is there in that combination rule, it will show up here. So in a way, whatever you define in the combination rule, it will set up the stage for pay code distribution. So in the pay code distribution, this is where you see the overtime, your overtimes, your zones, and your schedule deviation, and it defines a checkbox against each of these rules. Okay, so what it means is, in the pay code distribution, you need to define for these rules that we have defined in the combination rule, what is the pay code that you are going to give. So these are the pay situations, so to speak. These are the pay situation. In this pay situation, what is the pay code that you are going to give to the employees? Now let's start with the very first one, and before we get into these checkboxes, let me give you a simple way of looking at the pay code distribution. So let's break this page into two different sections. Okay, so one section you can see, let me just take a screenshot, and here we go. So the same pay code distribution that we have on the screen, I just took a screenshot of it and drew some lines for you to better understand how it works. So I just made a grid of this. So you can see there is one line here, and then there is one line right across this, and then I created a few lines to just create a grid kind of look here. So on one side you see this overtime, right? So here you have the overtime, and here you have the zones and schedule deviation, the one that I've just highlighted. Okay, so all your overtime situations will be here. Okay, so you can see this overtime over 40, this is your overtime over 40, your overtime over 8, and if there is any overtime, two situations for overtime. And this side you have all the zones. So you can see one side there is overtime, and one side there is other than the overtime, which is zones, schedule deviation, rest between shift. And then if you create a grid, there will be one situation that will come up. So here is the grid, first grid, you can see default and default. So here is overtime, here is zone. If employee is not in zone, employee is not in overtime, what will be the situation? It will be the default situation, right? Because the employee is working typically, let's say employee was working Monday to Friday, and just 8 hours each day, so he didn't cross daily OT, neither he worked in the evening shift, so he is in default situation. And in the default situation you usually pay regular, so you need to check on this checkbox and then give the regular pay code, which we'll give in a moment from now. And then what is the other situation? You see the first box is complete, this box, you see the blue box, and then if you see the second box, which I'm going to just draw the line, so the second situation will come up now. Okay, now the second situation is employee is in default situation, that means he is not in zone, neither he is working on an unscheduled day, but he has crossed over 40 hours in a week. So what is the pay code that you will give? Then comes the third situation. Okay, again this is the grid where you see this box, check box is there, right? So the situation is one side it's default, that means he is not falling in zone or any unscheduled day, but he has worked more than 8 hours a day. So what pay code you will give, right? And then let's take the other grid, other situation where the employee is in evening shift. Okay, and then he is not in a overtime condition. So he is not in overtime condition, he is in default condition, that means no overtime but evening shift. So what pay code you will give? So you might give him the evening pay code. So if it is over 8 you might give overtime, over 40 you might give overtime. If it is evening shift you will give the evening shift pay code. But if it is evening shift and now he is falling in a situation where he is crossing more than 40 hours, so now you can see he is in zone condition and he is in more than 40 hours as well. So what is the pay code that you will give? Will you give overtime or will you give zone? If you said one of them, then you may have to think again, because here if you see we are saying evening shift and overtime, right? So employee is also falling in evening shift, so he should be getting evening shift as well, and he has worked for more than 40 hours, so he should be getting overtime pay code as well. So two pay codes. But if you remember the combination rule, right? In the combination rule, we gave a precedence, and that was not for 40 hours, but that was for overtime. So there, in this situation, if you see, there is no checkbox. Did you observe that? There is no checkbox. Why? Because we said in the combination rule, if shift zone, evening shift situation happens and overtime situation happen, evening shift will take precedence. So that's why whatever pay code that you give for evening shift, the same thing you will see in the over 8 as well. Okay, so in terms of the pay code, I would explain that directly in the application, but the screenshot is just to explain you how the intersection happens, and at that intersection, whichever is the situation, you need to assign a pay code for that. Likewise for unscheduled day, if it is unscheduled day and the employee is in a default situation, what pay code will you pay? All right, so now that you might have got some understanding of it, let's go to the application and assign the pay codes. So default, what pay code would you assign? If it is a default, select the edit pay codes and then select your regular hours. So if it is no zone, no overtime, select the regular hours. And then the next situation where it's a default but over 40 and over 8. So if the pay code is the same, which is for over 40 and over 8 as well, so you can select both the pay codes, which is the same. But if it is 1.5 for over 8 and 2.0 double time for over 40, then you may have to give a different pay code. I am selecting the same pay code here, which is the overtime. There you go. And you can give the same pay code here as well, which is for the same situation if it happens. Now let's go to the evening shift. Okay, evening shift and no overtime. So what pay code will you give? You will definitely give evening shift, and if you want, you can also give the regular hours. But for now, for this demo, I will just select evening shift, so you are clear on specific pay codes for specific situations. So I'm going to select the evening shift pay code. And one more thing, while we are going through all of these, you will have to do a lot of testing. After each of this, you will have to go to the employee's time card and test everything so that you make sure that right pay codes are getting generated. So if the employee is evening shift and employee is working more than 40 hours, so you will give the evening shift pay code as well as overtime pay code. However, I would like you to focus on something else. I would like you to focus on this particular pay code. Do you remember we giving this pay code here? We didn't even come here. But the moment we assign evening shift here, the same pay code was shown here as well. Why? Because in the combination rule, we said evening shift takes precedence over the overtime. That is exactly what I wanted to show you while we were doing the combination rule. So by now, you should have an understanding what happens if you do not select unique. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a bit of the setup there. From one taking precedence over the other, I'm just going to remove that, and I'm going to show you what will be the difference. All right, so stay tuned for that. For some reason my system is behaving a little sluggish. Bear with me. Okay, so let's go to the configure combination. All right, and here we go. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this evening shift and make it as unique. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this as unique, which is over 40 and over 8. Okay, so both are overtime situations. So I'm going to put over 8 here. So now you will see another difference. So two difference you will notice. So let's go back to our pay code distribution. And in real life situation as well, you will have to do the same thing that I'm doing. You will have to switch between combination rule and PCD at times while you're working. And your PCD at times can look crazy as well, because if there are a lot of different situations, a lot of different rules, then you will have a lot of the pay code distribution might look little complex and not complex, but it can look a little crazy because there will be a lot of checkbox and the screen might look quite big. Now observe the evening shift. There is only one pay code. Earlier here as well there was evening shift, and there was another combination of over 8 plus over 40. Okay, so now by this time you might be able to understand how combination rule works and what difference it makes to the PCD. So now if employee is over 40, you just assign over 40 and over 8 the same pay code. You can also give the same pay code elsewhere at one go as well, because whenever employee reaches more than 40 and reaches over 8, it's the same pay code. So at one go you can assign the same pay code for different situations. I'm going to do that as well, rather than assigning one by one. Here I'm going to assign the overtime. And you will notice that the moment the pay code is assigned, all this pay codes check mark has the OT pay code. Now the situation is the employee is in the evening shift, and the employee is in the evening shift as well as he is in the over 8, and he is also in over 40. So what pay code do you give? If you haven't determined the precedence in the combination rule, then you will have to say that employee will get both OT and the employee will get evening shift as well. However, in the combination, if you in the combination rule, if you define who wins over the other, then it will be just either OT or either it will be overtime. So I'm going to just select the edit pay code, and I'm going to select evening shift and save and return. And after this you will have unscheduled or scheduled deviation. Right here you have unscheduled day. That means employee is working on a Saturday or Sunday, and it's a default situation. That means employee is not in overtime. So what will be the pay code that you will give? So you might pay them double time. Okay, and if the employee is working on unscheduled day, if it is less than 8 hours or less than 40 hours, it will be double time. Other than that, it will be overtime. So you can just stick to one pay code, which is double time. And I'm going to select pay code. So obviously you'll have to first create this pay code in order for you to see this, and that is something that you do in the definitions. And then there is this combination, which is evening shift plus unscheduled day. That means on an unscheduled day, Saturday, he is working from, let's say, 7 till 5 p.m. So a couple of hours are falling in evening shift. So two rules are joining together. What pay code do you want to give if this two situation happens but no overtime? So evening shift and unscheduled day, if it happens, so you might pay them both evening shift as well as double time, unless in the combination rule you have defined the precedence, which gets paid over the other, who wins. Again, if it's a tiebreaker, then it will be unique and you need to assign the pay codes likewise. Alright friends, our PCD is done, and you now know how to create the combination rule and how the combination rule makes a difference in the pay code distribution as well. The last step will be to assign this pay code to the pay code distribution, rather to the work rule as such. So let's save and return and go right into the pay code, assign the pay code distribution to our work rules. And if you remember earlier in the past sessions, we've used the work rule. So we already have the work rule there. All you need to do is make sure you change the name to correspond to the one that we just created, which is for full-time employees. Otherwise, later on it will be a lot of confusion if the names do not match. And here is the moment, guys. You need to assign all the building blocks that we created in the first 11 days right here in the work rule. So what does work rule do? Now work rule contains all the small pieces of building blocks that we've created. So you can consider the work rule as a bigger container which holds smaller chunks of container that we've created. So all of these that you created in the past, this is the time that you assign all of that into the work rule. So it's like a bigger container which holds all these building blocks inside it. And then finally this work rule is assigned into the pay rule. So in the work rule, all you do is you assign. For example, you created the rounding rule. On day number 2 we created the punch around rule, so you assign that. And then on day number 3 we created the shift guarantee, so assign that. And then on day number 4 we created core hours and exceptions, you assign that. And then we created day number 6, we created the unexcused absence or auto resolve exceptions, you create that. So remember one important thing, these 4 you can only assign one per work rule. So if you have employees who do not get unexcused absence or who do not have exceptions, then you will have to create a completely different work rule, because they can be different set of employees, like hourly employees, salaried employees. Salaried employees do not have to have exceptions because they do not punch in, punch out. Then you will have to create another work rule for them. Okay, so you can either have punch round rule or interval round rule, or if you have different type of punch round rule, you can only assign one here. Individual, these are individual building blocks which you can assign only once. And then later the other building blocks that you created, you can assign them here at the bottom section. For example, we created the break rules, so we can assign the break rules here. Again, remember, you did not randomly assign these things. You need to assign only if it is applicable. For example, the break rule might not be applicable for this full-time employees, but 1 hour of meal break will be applicable. The core hours is there in the configuration, but it is not applicable for full-time employees, so you don't have to assign it. Okay, so just because it is there doesn't mean that you need to assign it. Okay, it could be, maybe it will be used for some other group of employees, right? And then in the PCD, the first tab is general, where you assign the building blocks, and in the pay code distribution you assign the pay code distribution that you just created a while ago. Here is the full-time employees demo. So if that was not assigned, you can just assign it. And whatever is there inside the pay code distribution, remember, inside the pay code distribution we have combination rule, and within the combination rule you have the zones, unscheduled day, and all of that. So you need to assign that and move it to the selected items. So in work rule it is pretty simple. All you need to do is just assign things. Okay, and this is the last step, which is zones. Just assign it and move it to the right hand side. So here we go. So we've assigned the evening shift, and that completes our work rule. So let's go back to general, and just for you to remember, the top section that you see here, the top section, these round rule, rounding, shift guarantee, exception, auto resolve exceptions. So these are the individual rule selection that you will get. And at the bottom you can have multiple rules from where you can select as applicable. And once it is done, select on update this version and click on save and return. And one important thing about this create new version effective and update this version, before implementation, okay, so before go live rather, whatever changes that you are making, it's not yet moved to the production. You haven't moved the data to production, you are still in the implementation phase. So any changes that you make here, you can directly click on update this version and save, or save and return. However, once you go live, okay, and then you make some changes, let's say 3 months down the line there is a new CR, or there is some change request that you get, and then that is when you might have to change something. So at that time, if the time card is not signed off, and if you update this version, then it's going to it will have an impact as a retrospective. There will be a historical changes you might also encounter. Okay, So if the time card is signed off, that's fine. You can update, click on update this version. But 3 months down the line, if the time card is still not signed off, and if you update this version, it's going to make retrospective changes, historical changes will take place. So that is why you need to create a new version with an effective date, okay, as of today or maybe from starting next pay period. Again, remember this very important step. If the time card is not signed off and if you update this, it's going to have some repercussions to that. So I'm going to click on save and return. So friends, I hope by this time you were able to follow along with me for the first 12 days, and this was an important day because we actually completed a big 60 to 70%, 60% of our actual configuration when it comes to creating the pay rules. All right, so we created all of these building blocks under the work rule, and finally today we created the work rules building block, and this work rule will go into the pay rules. So we still have to cover the holidays and the payroll building block, which we will see in the upcoming videos, and finally we'll move to the payroll. And by that time I hope you will be able to set up the pay policies on your own, and you will be able to create the pay policies for different employee groups. And the important thing here to remember in the work rule is that the premium pay situations that you see here, which is zones, overtime, rest between the shifts, schedule deviation, all of these will go into the combination rule. So just a recap of what we have seen today. The combination rule will define which rule takes precedence over the other. The pay code distribution will define what pay code you give for a particular situation. If remember guys, this is very important pay code. I have seen a lot of errors just because the right pay code was not assigned, or in fact the pay code was not assigned itself. The employee didn't get paid, and it created a lot of again, it will create issues later on. For example, if this I do something like this, okay, I mistakenly didn't assign a pay code. So what will happen? If employee is working in 7 to 4, or maybe if employee is working 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., which is the afternoon, and you haven't assigned the pay code here, so employee is not going to get that shift allowance. He's going to miss out on the pay that he's supposed to get. Why? Because you might have missed out on giving the pay code. So this is a pretty simple one that I've created, so that this is the first time you are doing it. So practice it and let me know if you have some complex situation when it comes to PCD or combination rule and you need some help. Put your questions, comments in the comment sections, or if you need any more clarifications on this. So today's video, we've seen the combination rule, we've seen the PCD, and we've seen the work rule building blocks. So 3 important rules. I hope you found this information covered in this combination rule, PCD, and work rule informative. If you did, just let me know and give me your feedback. I know last few days I wasn't able to create videos, but the next video I will try to release as early as possible. And please do let me know your feedback through the comment section, and I will be more than happy to see them. And give me a thumbs up guys if you like the video, and if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, and if you want to learn more about Kronos, please do subscribe. And thank you guys for watching till the end.